a positivity rate of about 1.2%.
But Governor Ned Lamont says despite the slight uptick, Connecticut is still in pretty good shape in the fight against COVID-19. The governor announcing new changes Monday, including a way to help cities and towns deal with those who violate mask and social distancing orders.
So what we said is, look, we're going to institute a series of fines for COVID-related violations, $100 for violating the mask order,
$500 for organizing events that exceed the state's size limit, $250 for attending an event that exceeds that size limit. The state's travel advisory is also getting simplified. If traveling from a hotspot area to Connecticut, you can now avoid the 14-day quarantine period if you show proof of a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours of travel.
We don't know what is the fourth quarter. We just the beginning of the first half.
And because of that uncertainty, the Department of Public Health sent a letter to the high school sports governing body, the CIAC, to hold off on high school football until the spring.
You may say, well, what's the difference? I mean, why put it off till spring? What's going to be different? I think there could be a world of difference where it's much safer. Not only are we through the risk of, the colleges, we're also through the bulk of the flu season.
As students return to school, a number of districts across the state close some buildings or sections of them as COVID-19 cases begin popping up among staff and students. But at this time, the governor says there's no need for state mandates, with rates at schools and universities still lower than the general population. And as for those fines, they are expected to take effect later on this week. Law enforcement, local elected officials, as well as local public health officials will have the authority to enforce them.
To sports here.